All right, so right now the boat is obviously a mess. We have stuff everywhere. So let's get this organized. All right, so welcome back to another CC Outdoors video. As you saw in that first clip, that yesterday the boat was just a mess and we had all of our tackle sitting out. And before we get too far into this, I do want to say it's brought to you by Mystery Tackle Box. So thank you to Mystery Tackle Box for bringing you guys today's video. So yeah, let's just jump right into the boat and get to the tour. So the reason I'm showing off the boat today is just because I did a few changes over the last few weeks, and I'm going to kind of show that, and then I'll show the tackle that I'm running this year, the rod, stuff like that. And we'll also show our Mystery Tackle Box for April, our Bass Pro box. So yeah, let's just jump into the boat quick. So starting in the front here, we have a Minn Kota Edge that we just installed. I bought this brand new. I was hoping to find a used one and I just couldn't, so I had to buy brand new. And then we just have the pan optics. We did the pole mount, or we took that off the pole mount that Garmin sends you for ice fishing, mounted on the trolling motor. Then here it's on here, and I velcroed a few rags on there so it wouldn't get rock chips when we were going down the road. And then paired up for that, I have a Garmin 93 SV Echo Map Plus. Nothing too special there. We got a bin here full of 10,000 fish, Biospawn, Carl's Amazing Bait, stuff like that. And then for the battery setup here, we ended up doing it in this little floor spot here. It's just usually storage, but I was able to make a battery fit, so I'll show you that. So in here, I've just got my Group 31 FVP battery. If you guys want to see a video in the future about how I wired this up, because I'm keeping this setup, my Panoptic setup, for ice fishing, so I left the ice fishing terminals on there. I could definitely show that in a later video. If you have questions, just comment about it and I'll answer those. And then I just like to keep this on top of the battery as I'm going down the road so it doesn't mess with the connections, but I'll do that later. So that's kind of the main change. We're still running the same carpet we put in last year. We still are running the Helix 7. That's all we've got for a graph back here. Hoping to add maybe a 9 later in the year or next year. Still got the Suzuki here. Still running good. Got to get the cowling fixed though. Caught that on a tree, but that's minor. So yeah, let's jump into some of the tackle that we got. So first for the tackle I'll show is everyone's kind of favorites, like the swim baits and the top waters, so we'll open that box first. All right, so in the first swim bait box here we have a Legends from the Abyss Gizzard Wizard, I believe that's called. I think it's like a 6-inch soft bait. Haven't used that one in a while, but I know it's a pretty good one for fishing deep. Here's one that I've used quite a bit fishing around docks and stuff. It's just a mag draft. I honestly have not had great luck with this one just because it's a slow sink. I like ones that get deeper quicker. I don't even know what brand that is. I got a Savage Ear Roach, Savage Ear Line Through Trout. Then we have, this is one of my favorite swim baits right here. Well, topwater rat. So it's not really a swim bait, but it's kind of classified as one. This thing catches fish, as you can see. It's just got tons of hook rash on it all over from getting bites. But yeah, let's jump into the cooler ones. So right here we have a, don't quote me on this because it's been a while since I've really looked into swim baits much, but I believe this is a Leaders Elite Lures Gill Glide. It's a 7-inch. We have the Depths Bull Shooter 160 and the Bull Gill 4x4. Now this is easily my top producing one. I mean, if you look at that thing, you can just tell that is beat to crap there. I mean, this bait has caught more fish than any other swim bait I've thrown, probably. The only thing in competition with this would be like a Tiny Clash, which I have the tendency to break off on. And then to get into like our cheaper ones and our top waters, we have a couple Googan contenders, a big one and a little one, a couple bull shads there, a bull shad and like 2 bull gills, more bull gills. I think think it's called a tataki frog from 10,000 Fish. Got some Spro frogs, 10,000 Fish headhunters. Those are a cool little soft bait. I'm excited to throw this here. Googan blooper. Shout out to Big Fish Bullies. Can't wait to try out this spook they sent me. And then we got some stutter steps, some Weston frogs, and we have some more top waters just in random places, but I'm not sure where they are. All right, now before we get too far into this, I just want to show you guys off my April mystery tackle box. So let's hop right into it here. So right away when you open up, we can see it's got some Biwa baits in here. So we have the Biwa Warax 4-inch Okeechobee color. I'll just throw a picture up on the screen there so you can see it better. Good little creature bait there. Something I'd use for flipping docks, jig trailers, just something like that. Next up here we have the Googan Baits Junior Scout. It's a little suspending jerk bait. I think it's like a 4-inch, should say on here. Yeah, 3.5-inch jerk bait. Killer smallie bait for when they're still not moved up onto beds yet, but they're up shallow. That's something I'm gonna be throwing here soon as season opens up or conditions improve in South Dakota, so I can go down there and smallie fish. But next up here we have some Eagle Claw EWG hooks, 4-aughts. Something you can never have too many of because it always seems like you hang them up on docks, you bend them, you break them. You just can't have too many. Next up here we have the Excite Baits Reflex Skipping Jig here and Magic Craw color. I mean, there's not much to say about it. It's a jig. It's a jig. You'll catch fish on it. You can pretty much fish them anywhere. You don't have to explain a ton. People know the jig. Next up here we have the Carl's Amazing Bait Spinnerbait. This is like a chartreuse white with a willow blade, I believe that's called. I'm not big on spinnerbaits. I don't know my terminology with them, but I think that's right. Yeah, it's just a nice little spinnerbait. I'm not a big spinnerbait guy, if I'm being honest. Like, as you can tell there, I don't know much about them. And that's just, I'd rather use a chatterbait or like even a square bill or something in the situations where you throw that, where it's overcast, wind, something like that. I'm not a fan of spinnerbaits. Living in the north, there's way too many pike, and you just seem to deal with 25-inch pike all day long, so I just choose not to throw them really. I think I only own like 3 spinnerbaits, so there's a reason behind that. Next up here, we have the Kalin's 4-inch Jerk Minnow Junior, and this is in a bait fish color. This is another one. It doesn't really need an explanation. You can kind of throw it anywhere, anytime, any way you want. You can Texas rig it, drop shot it, just a nose hook it, and you'll catch fish. With the smallies moving up on beds real soon, people will be throwing those on drop shots, catching them. I like to Texas rig them up shallow, and you can kill the pre-spawn largies with them. Like, some of my best days have come on flukes when those bass haven't quite staged up to spawn yet. And even fishing them deep, I really like to drop shot them out in 15 to 25 feet of water. I've had a lot of luck with it. So yeah, let's just jump right into the last bait here. And that is the Team Arc LP38 lipless crankbait. I'm guessing it's like a 3/8 ounce. Cool little design there. I've never heard of this brand, but it kind of reminds me of like a red-eye shad. Just a sinking lipless crankbait. It says it's heavy. Oh, so that 3/8 does not mean weight. It's 11.4 grams, 13/32 ounces. It says it deploys a slightly heavier design than other baits for longer casting distance, stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not a big lipless guy. That's another one of the things I'm just not a fan of. So I don't know. I don't have many tips for throwing them, but we'll look at our what's inside here. I'll do some quick math and see what we got out of our $30 box. So if you guys want to read that and do the math for yourself, if you don't believe me. It was about a $40 value in this box, which is good. You spend 30 bucks, you get $40 back worth of baits, and like, for the most part, they're all good. I mean, I don't really like lipless crankbaits and spinnerbaits, but most people do. So then we just got our dibble guide here, tells you when to throw those baits and stuff. A little read about how to throw the Junior Scout from Googan Baits. And we have a Catchco sticker, so throw that on box or something, but let's just keep going on the video. All right, so if you guys would like to get a mystery tackle box for yourself, make sure you use the link in the description or use code ccoutdoors at checkout. You'll get $10 off your first box. But yeah, thank you guys for watching that part of the mystery tackle box segment. Now we'll hop back into the tackle tour. All right, so here's like our crankbait and jerkbait box. I don't have much for jerkbaits. I need to resupply on them. I have 5, I have 1 tied up, but yeah, let's just hop right into our first crankbait box here. We got a couple of Grande Recons, I believe they're called, the Googan baits, like deep diving. Another one here, a DT 10 or 15, something like that. Just jerk baits, 10XD, Rapala, like SR8, SR7. Then we have some Bill Lewis MR6s here. Some Googan flat, or not flat, just the Googan Squad banger crankbaits, like 2 to 5 foot. More MR6, SB57s by Bill Lewis, SB57s by Bill Lewis. Let's think of that Echo 1.75. Then we have SB57s and a clutch. But yeah, I mean, I've got some crankbaits. There's not much to it. That swim bait isn't supposed to be there, but just ignore that. And in our other box here, this is kind of just what I have of overflow, I guess you could call it. I don't have a good box for these. I want to get more Plano 3700s, like I've got this. But yeah, I've got micro clutch there. I've got some Janko crankbait there, some Sutter steps, lipless. It's just kind of everything, just because I don't have a spot for all of these baits yet. This one's boring. I don't need to go too in depth. It's just terminal. I got some jig and wraps, net heads in there, drop shot weights, stuff like that. Then onto the spinnerbait box, because I said I have so many. I've got a buzzbait here. I've got like a Colorado blade, 10,000 fish spinnerbait. I've got a zinger from Googan Baits, and then I got this Carl's, and then just a couple bottom bouncers. That's literally all that I have for spinnerbaits, so we'll just ignore that part. So here's my inner walleye fisherman. I got my Jig Box, which really only these are walleye jigs. I got my Kalins and my Northland. I got a lot of VMC jigs, and then we've got some more Kalins like Google Eye, swing jigs, shaky heads, hair jigs. It's kind of just a random assortment. I don't have many jig heads, but I figured I'd show that box anyway. And just because I don't have many jigs, I keep this in a 3600 instead of a 3700. So here's the box you guys should like. This is my Bass Jig Box, and we'll pop this one open here. This one's pretty full. So we got finesse jigs here, hair jigs. This is just like a big 1 ounce bladed swim jig. I believe these are ATs. These are Googans, gridiron. I'm not sure what these are. These are chatterbaits. And right here we've got a bunch of, I believe these are the Googan. Yeah, these are Googan, like flipping jigs or thick jigs, I think they call them. We got, I don't know, gridiron jigs here. Here's one I'm really excited to try. This is the Tightrope Jig by Catchco, and this is a cool looking one, especially if you have like bedding smallies. They should really go for that. Just one I'm excited to try, so I grabbed a few before the season starts. Then yeah, just more assorted jigs. And this is another situation that I need more tackle boxes for my jigs, because I've still got, I'll show you here. I've kind of just got like an overstock of jigs. I think there's like 10 in this box and like 8 in this one that I'm not really able to do anything with until I get more boxes. But so I'm not really going to go too in depth with the plastics, just because there's too many of them. I really like TRDs, so that's why I have a bunch of them. I really like these swim baits from Juice Baits, so I have a bunch of them, multiple bulk packs. And that's really it. There's not much in specific in this plastics box, but I'll show you my other plastic box. Now I kind of gave a sneak peek at this box at the beginning of the video, but I just got some line in there. That's kind of just a random spot for it. But this one is just plump full of like Tsukoshi bugs, Yodo worms, shimmer shads. Yeah, and then I want to show you guys a new bait from Ketchco. So if I'm not mistaken, these exopods just came out a few months ago. They're still kind of new, but there is one in here that I actually want to show you guys that just came out, and that is the new vial tube. This is a sweet little bait. It's just a kind of a knockoff of your standard tube, if you would. It's just got more to it. It's a more detailed bait, and I really worded that wrong. It's not knockoff, but spin-off. It's just got wings and appendages to the sides of it to give it a different action in the water. It's definitely one that I'm really excited to throw at the smallies this spring. Hoping to get down to South Dakota and target them down there, if nothing else. But yeah, that's one new one from Biospawn, is these new vial tubes. I'm already starting to stock up on them. And then they also just released the new Shimmer Shads and Shimmer Swimmer 2.0s. But yeah, I should have my new Shimmer Shads and Shimmer Swimmers coming in the mail today to show you guys those. And I'm excited to throw those as well. They look really cool. I haven't seen them in person yet. And at the time of the release of this video, they should announce it, but there is more Biospawn baits coming out. I'm not gonna say it just in case I release this video too soon. So as we kind of cap off on our tackle, I'll just show you what I haven't gotten around to opening or putting in boxes, stuff like that. We just got a box full of Bill Lewis SB57s, just the square bill series that they have. These are a really good bait. I like to keep extras on hand just because I have the tendency to lose a lot of crankbaits, and I really like these ones. Then we have this Carl's box that's kind of just plump full of Tsukoshi bugs, 10,000 fish, shimmer shads, shimmer swimmers, kind of everything. There's not really much to any of these boxes for specific. It's kind of just I throw everything in them. And these are just, I don't want to throw them in boxes and have them melt on me unnecessarily. So I like to keep them just tucked away in the garage until I need them. And that way you don't have to worry about ruining baits. And here is kind of just random stuff that wouldn't fit, some big bites and net bait. I don't know, it's kind of just random stuff I've picked up on clearance deals or that showed up in mystery tackle boxes. And then here's just my box of some of my Biospawn stuff, not much to it. And also I'm gonna add in, we are approaching 600 subscribers, so if you guys could share these videos, or if you aren't already subscribed, please subscribe, help me get there. The goal for the end of the year is 1,000, so we have some work to do, but yeah. So for our main rods, I kind of decreased the amount that I'm gonna use, if that's the right words for it. I don't have as many rods in the boat this year. It was getting to be too much when you'd have 15 or 20 rods laying on the floor here. You just couldn't do it. So here's like my main lineup for this year. We have the Shields Ebisu Pro, and this is paired up with a Daiwa Tatula 100 or 150. This is a 100. Yeah, this is honestly one of my favorite rods, if not my favorite. I got it on a Facebook Marketplace deal, and it's been my favorite ever since. And for my favorite spinning setup here, we have a Shields Tournament Series 7.6 medium light. This is just all around a great rod. It's got the Daiwa Fuego 2500 on it, and this is awesome reel for the price you pay. As you can see here, I was throwing a jig on it. It's kind of just a good jig drop shot all around rod. All right, so for the next combo we have here, it is a Shimano Curado DC paired up with a Daiwa Tatula 7.3 heavy. This is kind of just like my jig, bigger spinnerbait rod. Yeah, I don't know. I don't use this rod a ton anymore just because I like to throw kind of everything on that Shields Ebisu, jigs, and crankbaits. So this rod's kind of not used as much, but if I'm fishing thicker grass, I have like, I think that's 30 or 40 pound braid rigged up on there, so I can fish jigs in the grass. But yeah, let's just get right on to the next rod here, which is a St. Croix Mojo bass paired up with a Lew's Mach 2 speed spool. Not much to this setup. It's a good jerkbait rod, crankbait rod, it's glass, so kind of just an all-around good rod. Next up here we have the Fenwick Hmg. It's kind of a good jerkbait rod, jig rod, all around. I mean, it's got a sensitive tip and a good backbone, so that's really all you need for a rod. Not too much to say about it. We've got a jerkbait tied up there from my last trip, but yeah. Next up here we have the St. Croix Icon. This is like my main Lindy rigging rod if I'm walleye fishing, and if I'm bass fishing, I'll just rig up a drop shot on it. Those are kind of the only specifications, or the specification to it is that it's a rigging rod. It says right on there, so I kind of just keep it at drop shot or Lindy rig. All right, and getting to the last spinning rod here, we have the Shields Pro Angler. Now it's only like a $40 rod, and I really like it. We got it paired up with a P. Pfluger President, and this has kind of become one of my main snap jigging or jigging wrap rods. It's shorter, it has a quick tip to it, and a strong backbone, perfect for jigging wraps. This rod has caught me a ton of fish, and it kind of just is one of those that proves to me that I don't need the most expensive gear to catch fish, because it's like an $80 combo, and it's caught me some big walleyes. And for the last bait caster here, we have the Googan Squad. I'm not even sure what you'd technically call this rod. It's just like their green series, paired up with a Concept Z. This was kind of just a reel that I threw on here. It doesn't look great, but oh well. If I'm being honest, I was kind of skeptical on how it was going to perform, but after using it, I really like it, and I will probably end up buying more of those rods. So I haven't showed this to YouTube yet, but this is the new truck that I bought this winter. This is what I'll be pulling the boat with. It's a 2014 King Ranch EcoBoost. I've already pulled the boat one trip, about 500 miles with it, and it did great. So I'm excited to keep running it this year. So yeah, as we wrap up this video, I just want to say thank you to anybody who did watch to the end. If you made it this far, please leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. We're approaching 600 subscribers, and yeah, let's just try to hit that by like fishing opener, because after opener, we're going to start pumping out a lot more content. We've kind of been in a weird off season for a while here. I've been sketched out to go on the ice pretty much since like mid-March, so I haven't been getting content, and this ice season was not very good for content. I really just struggled all season long. I caught walleyes, but it was so like few and far between that it was hard to get content of it. But yeah, this summer should be a good one. We'll be doing a lot of traveling to fish, and we'll be just catching a lot of fish. I'm very confident this year, just with how late our ice season is going. The fish should be fired up, especially right around opener. I'm assuming the walleyes will still be pre-spawn, everything like that. It's just, I'm getting so excited for it. And now I've just been sitting in the boat every day that I'm not at work and kind of just dreaming for open water. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And make sure you use code ccoutdoors on your mystery tackle box checkout, or click the link in the description. But yeah, thank you. Well, here's a little bonus right at the end here, since this just showed up after I ended the outro. We have, I believe it's the new Shimmer Shads and Shimmer Swim. Ooh, these look nice. So we got that one. Then we got the inverted tail Shimmer Swimmers.